when you are saying what do I stand to gain? I stand to gain a lot. Because if you are in my position and you are being cheated, we don't like it. Who said I was babalawos, I was blackmailed, I was working for Tinubu, and so on and so forth. But I told them point blank that you don't need to chase shadow. Let's face the reality. What led to that crisis was that the Abure, the then chairman, was accused of corruption and was suspended by his units. At the same time, another court case against him again at the Abuja Federal Court. He was also suspended for forgery and perjury. So, and even the court has even decided on that for a person to have forged court documents, that person should not be regarded as a human being, talk less of leading a political party. I am the acting national chairman of the party based on the judgment of the Supreme Court and based on the party constitution.
You're welcome. We are live at the Honor 103.5 FM studios in Ibadan, Nigeria. And today we have an important personality, a big political figure in Nigeria with us, and it will be dissecting the unfolding political developments in Nigeria, especially as it concerns the forthcoming general elections in year 2027, the preparedness of his political party, and his place in history and the legacies that he wants to leave behind, and other controversies that has been surrounding his personality and his affiliation to a particular political party. Well, let me unveil my guest. He is Chief Nanadi Apapa. Those who are conversant with political developments in Nigeria knows that name very well. Embroidered in one struggle or the other, a man who wears many caps and feathers to that cap, I must say. Is a man who has fought battles, won some, well, perhaps still fighting some, but is a formidable figure in this country. Chief Nanadi Apapa, you're very much welcome, sir.
Thank you very much.
Good to have you in our studios.
Thank you.
Well, some have given you different tags, different names. You know, they approach you and they've called you different names. Okay. Some not too pleasant, some pleasant as well. But when you look at your history, your trajectory, your antecedents, especially outside politics, and when you also ventured into politics, well, robust profile, one would say. Congratulations for that, sir.
Thank you so much.
Who is Nanadi Apapa? To the best of your own knowledge. You know, sometimes when you are a tough man, you know. Now we say, I am the lion.
I'm not a tough man anyway. I'm not a tough man.
Gentle.
You know that.
Calculated.
Sure. You know that for sure.
And disciplined.
That's correct.
And with tendencies of...
Of what?
Well, I wanted you to say that. But as some would say, tendencies of dealing decisively with whomever intends to look at your posture, undermine your capacities. You could deal with that person mercilessly.
That's correct.
That's correct. Yeah. And perhaps that played out in the Labour Party.
I think so. I believe in the truth.
Okay.
I also work towards it. That's all. You know, part of my accident that you are talking about, I was the chairman of NSC Oyo State before, during the Akala era. I led the team. You know, we had 3 months struggle against the state. When the government was saying they don't have money to pay, I insisted that government had enough money to pay. And we were able to fight and conquer the state. And today, though it has become history, but workers are enjoying it till today.
You championed that cause.
I led it.
That is highly beneficial to the workers of your state.
I led the team.
You've been able to champion other causes. within the political space as well. Let's go into that too.
Well, that is anyway. That's glaring anyway. Like the one that happened at the appeal court. We are all living witnesses. And what happened on that particular day? I was at the court, and the woman leader was around too. And the woman leader wanted to lead the team that she was to represent the party. And I said, no. If I'm here, no other person can lead the party.
In what capacity?
In what capacity? That time, we are not talking about acting capacity. I was the deputy national chairman
of the Labour Party.
Labour Party. And a junior officer was around trying to lead the party. I said, no. For as long as I'm here, I'm the most senior officer here who can lead the party. I think that was the genesis of the fight. And it has become history. And
it has become history, but then you were labeled the Judas.
That was called
among the disciples.
People said I was babalawos, I was blackmailed, I was working for Tinubu, and so on and so forth. But I told them point blank that you don't need to chase shadow. Let's face the reality. What led to that crisis was that the Abure, the then chairman, was accused of corruption and was suspended by his units.
Julius Abure.
By his word. And that led to so many issues. He was suspended, the matter was taken to court. At the same time, another court case against him again at the Abuja Federal Court. He was also suspended for forgery and perjury. So, and even the court has even decided on that for a person to have forged court documents, that person should not be regarded as a human being, talk less of leading a political party. And
that was a criminal offense.
Yes, and I insisted that with this judgment, it is for you to be a responsible person, you must step aside and allow me to take over in acting capacity. And if you are investigated and found not to be guilty, then you take over your office. But if it is confirmed with enough evidence that actually this offense was committed by you, then you pay for it.
To some within the party and within your association, your action then was seen as a betrayal, a disloyalty to your superior.
Now that's what they aren't taken. But what really happened then was that there was an issue of at that particular moment, Abure was fully with Peterobi. And the belief of Peterobi was that anybody who's from this side, part of the country, a Yoruba man in particular, that person must be working with Tinubu or working for Tinubu. And I told them
that was the suspicion.
That was their belief. And I told them this is not true. Not all Yorubas voted for Tinubu. And not all Igbos voted for Obi. Issue of politics cannot be decided that way. I have my own reason for voting for Obi or voting for Tinubu. And everybody has his own reason to judge his action. So don't take it that way. Let us face the reality. Abandon the shadow that you are pursuing. Stop blackmailing me. Abure actually committed all these offenses. And if this is true, allow him to step aside.
But when you look at the offenses and the judgment of the court now, you talk of perjury, you talk of criminal conduct, you talk of misappropriation, etc. You were the deputy national chairman. And one would wonder, is it possible to indict the chairman or the national chairman without the possibility of the deputy national chairman also getting involved. You should, ideally, it should be paddies or very close allies, and
it is not. It is impossible.
Were you sidelined in the affairs of the party then that you were the deputy national chairman?
Let me explain that to you. Recently, the EFCC invited me on this particular statement you have made now, that it is possible for your chairman to have committed this number of offences without your involvement. So, well, it is possible. The accounting officers are the chairman, the secretary, and the treasurer. These are the trustees of the party. They deal with the accounts of the party. But administratively, the vice chairman can be involved. But issue of money is not involved.
It's not within the jurisdiction of the
vice chairman
or the vice
chairman. So that is the case. And I explain why. If you look at all the documents pertaining to money, you can't see the vice chairman's signature there. And the way we run the party, the vice chairman or the deputy chairman can only be in Abuja when we have a meeting. And that meeting, the issue of budgeting, whatever they want to do about the party, must have been concluded. The deputy will just come there, make him have, we just have a brief of what is going to happen maybe tomorrow or next tomorrow. And you just make your own contribution. Your input can be allowed or disallowed. Because you are not going to be the presenter of the party's decision. The chairman will present and the secretary. So the issue of allegation of corruption, I think I'm left out.
Are you saying that within the Labour Party structure now, the position of the vice or deputy national chairman is not that significant administratively and otherwise? You're just a spare tire, a mere spare tire that could be ignored at will.
I will not agree with the word significant, because the deputy has a role to play. But that role can only be played in the absence of your chairman. Just like every other meeting. If the chairman is around, the deputy will just be looking at this whole thing. Except if the chairman say, my deputy, you are aware, I brief you. Can you brief the house? But if you are not given that opportunity, you just keep on watching and see whether you'll be called upon to say something or not. I think that's exactly what happened.
Well, without admitting as to if truly you had affinity with President Bola Tinubu, then Senator Bola Ahmed Tinubu, because he was an aspirant and the presidential candidate of the All Progressives Congress then. But you are a Yoruba man. He is of the Yoruba extraction too. And you've lived your life in the Southwest before becoming the Deputy National Chairman of the Labour Party. At one point in time or the other, did you ever had any face-to-face interaction, business interaction, or into personal relationship with Senator Bola Ahmed Tinubu?
None.
Were you ever at some point?
The only time, very long time ago, when I was a Nupeng officer, very long time ago, because I was vice president of Nupeng. I was one time the national trustee. I was one time the national secretary of the entire tanker drivers in Nigeria, the chairman of NSA. So many positions I've held in the labor movement. That was the only time, over 40 years ago. So that was the only I can say, and I was not the person that led the team on that day. Very long time ago on labor matters, Nupeng issue. But on politics, I have never met him.
And you've never met his allies?
At all.
His boys in court?
At all.
Your palms were not rubbed?
At all.
You were not enticed with anything?
At all.
You were not financially mobilized?
I remain the same. I believe in what I believe in. I believe that principle is what I maintain.
And you don't have this ethnic preference or sentiment playing out. That is a Yoruba man, you just have this natural way of supporting him.
And that's why that word that I said, not all Yoruba voted for Tinubu, and not all Igbos voted for Obi. You must have reason for voting for A or B.
But you voted for?
I voted for B.
Peterobi?
Yes.
You were estranged then? No. You were somewhere in a battle then?
No. I was the deputy national chairman of Labour Party during the election, I would have voted for somebody else. Even in my area, people know me as Peterobi.
That's the name they give to you.
Yes, in my area, in my community. That's before this crisis. So before this crisis, so I'm telling you, before the crisis, because I led the team of voting for Peterobi. These are honorable for Egbeda Onara, Labour Party. How will you be campaigning for your neighbor without campaigning for your president? It's not possible. And they will see all the votings that took place in my own unit. So that's the point. But what I'm saying that not that I'm against tinubu or against anybody, but what I'm saying is that the truth must be said. What we are fighting that time was not related to whether you are a Yoruba man or a Igbo man or an Hausa man. We are fighting on the issue of leadership. Who should be there when he has a problem, or rather an issue with the court or with the judiciary? That's all.
Accepted. You voted Peterobi,
Yeah.
and by implication, you voted your own party, the Labour Party.
Yeah.
Was your vote born out of the compilation, the natural love for your party, that is the Labour Party, that you're a principal officer, or the love that you have for your presidential candidate?
It should be both.
But what played out?
It should be both. I'm telling you, it's both. Because if I'm campaigning for my own party, that's the Labour Party, somebody represents the party. You cannot exclude the party from the candidate. That's the point. If I'm voting for my party, that's Labour Party, for the presidency, and who is representing the party is Peterobi. So indirectly, whether I voted for B, I'm voted for the party. Whether I voted for the party, I voted for B. That's the meaning. That's just the logic.
You were labeled a number of names. Peterobi was not on your side. It's on record. Peterobi was not on your side. He had his preference for Julius Abure,
Yes,
and the likes. Do you still love the man Peterobi? Will you vote for him? Will you support his presidential ambition?
well, that depends on the party. I'm not only the party. Normally, before you pick your own candidate, there must be a primary, and it is contestable. Now, it depends on the number of candidates that we have, or maybe aspirants that we have. If he emerges, I will still vote for him. Because
If he emerges as the presidential candidate,
yes, I will still vote for him.
under which party?
You are talking about Labour Party now. You are not talking about another party. You are talking of if he comes to Labour Party, or if he's in Labour Party, and he emerges as our candidate, will I vote for him? I will vote for him if he's the one that emerges.
Where does Peterobi belongs to now in terms of party membership, to the best of your knowledge?
He's still a Labour Party. I am aware that he attended coalition meetings, but he has not formally informed the party of his exit. So if he has done that, I would have said he has left Labour Party. But as of today, he has not told us formally that he has left Labour Party. So I cannot speak for him on that. If he should come back tomorrow and say, I am no more in Labour Party, that nullifies his membership.
Maybe he had done that without your knowledge, because you've really not been at the round table where decisions are being made.
I speak
as observed.
I speak with Obi. He speak with me. We spoke not quite long. For you to say, even if he writes any letter today, before the next 5 hours, the whole world will hear that he has received formally of his exit.
Is there a resentment or a sort of hatred for your ethnic group on the side of Peterobi? Is it a detribalized Nigerian? You raised the allegation the other time that the suspicion was there because you were a Yoruba man, tinubu was a Yoruba man, and they believe that you were supporting your kinsman. So is it about ethnic issue within the party now?
I don't want to quote that, because that time, I will call it error of unknown. Because if he had known, he would have behaved otherwise. Because that particular time, when they were accusing me, I was privileged to have audience with a number of a group of Igbos who are elders in Abuja. There was one that I attended that involved brigadiers, professors, lawyers who are from Igbo extraction. And when they asked me what should be the solution, I said it is simple. You can't settle a matter by calling only one person. Call all the parties involved, myself, Peterobi, Abure, and those that they feel should be in that meeting. And when you call up every one of us, if I give my own statement, let them say their own and judge. Because since you are all neutral, and I will accept your decision. But if you fail to do that, this crisis will linger on for too long. Because you can't get to the root of the cause. Because I've told you this. And don't take it lightly. You will from one step to the other, to another step. And there will be no end to it. And you can see since that time, this problem has been on. And why it lingers on? You know, at the beginning of this crisis, I was trying to meet Comrade Ajero, the president of the Nigerian Labour Congress. Yeah. Because I was privileged to be the chairman of NSC, and that was the time when this party was formed. And at the beginning, it was called Party for Social Democracy. And fortunately, I was the first chairman of this party in Oyo State before it metamorphosed into Labour Party. It was called Party for Social Democracy. Later transformed to Labour Party. And both the first one and the second one, I was privileged to be the leader. And I was the leader for the party for 10 years in Oyo State. I decided to leave because we made the constitution of the party. And it allowed me only to serve for 2 terms. And because of the issue of the Party for Social Democracy that was not recorded as part of it, that was why I enjoyed that 10 years. So I left for another person. So that time, I was trying to use that opportunity to meet Joe Ajero, that being the current president of NSC, and who should be able to know what really transpired in Labour Party, because Labour NSC cannot be ruled out in the formation of Labour Party. Yeah. So, but when we were set up to move to the NSC headquarters, I was in Abuja on that day with a crowd of people. So as we were about to move, I got a call that Ajero was at the NSC secretariat then. And the statement he made annoyed me so much. What was the statement? He called us rodents. That we are rodents, and he was ready to fumigate us. We are even called maybe interlopers and whatever. I laughed over it. When the party was formed, where was Ajero? When the party, what was his position in the NSC? I was the chairman. I was a cadet officer, Labour Party. I started as state chairman. Very, very rare. Right from day one, I was the chairman of the party, which I enjoyed for 10 years. So nobody should regard me as a non-performer. Or meddlesomeness. I'm an interloper. So this is what I said, well, the day will come. They were going to fight and fight until we fight no more. This is because if you fail to accept the truth, each time you are getting to solve your problem, the truth will still come. I am here. I am here. You can see it. What the allegation we gave to Abure is the same allegation they are now giving against him now. The corruption, the forgery, the perjury, whatever names. And the witnesses I have, that they are in my group, they are the same witnesses that they have now against him. I'm talking about Obi. and his co-travelers. So you can see that now I have been vindicated. I'm so happy that God has done that for me. So why I'm saying this, because
Are you happy with the state of the Labour Party in Nigeria now?
I'm not happy.
You contributed to their failures or the seeming failures.
It's not true. It's not true. Why I say it's not true is this. I have never contributed. Now, the constitution of the party has been in my favor all the while. If you are the number one and you have a problem, for example, let me give you an example which is very recent. Look at the APC. When Ganduje resigned, there was no meeting from anywhere. It was automatic that Lori took over because he was the deputy. I was the deputy to Abure. If they had supported me to take over from Abure, the crisis we are facing today wouldn't have happened. But they allow it to happen, to generate and to degenerate. So that's where we are. So for me, I'm not a contributor to it. I wanted to save us. Even till today, I keep on telling them that if they allow me to take over fully, though we have cases all over, I don't know whether you listened to us during the interview. A Supreme Court judgment has been given, though it was Nanadi people that took him to court. But I'm the beneficiary of that judgment.
Also, because I wanted to ask, what is your rightful position, legal position within the Labour Party as we speak?
That's what I'm telling you. I want to tell you now, since you have not asked, even before asking me, I was trying to tell you. Before Nanadi group, that is Obi, let me use the word Obi and Nanadi. They took Abure to court for the last confession he did. And the issue of expiry date and something like that, so many issues were raised. And we also took him to Supreme Court. But we'll be fighting this
Your group?
Yes. To Supreme Court again for the case he had at his world level. For issue of corruption that led to his suspension, which he did not answer. That one is still pending. Now, the Nanadi group own, when the judgment gave ruling, and let me explain the ruling.
All right.
The ruling, at the end of the ruling, was that leadership issue, that Abure has been enjoying court protection. I'm only trying to interpret it.
Yeah.
I'm not the writer. That the Federal High Court allow him protection. That he is the chairman of the party. The appeal court supported it. Supreme Court nullified everything.
Nullified the protection.
The protection. You cannot enjoy court protection. It is the party affairs. Don't call yourself party chairman again with our protection. No. That's why he cannot move forward because he cannot go back to Supreme Court. Which means the Supreme Court has derobed him. The Nanadi group that took the matter to court. Then the Supreme Court now said it is the affairs of your party to settle your leadership issue. Now let me give this example that I've given to some people. If you are a Christian and two of you have quarrel, let's say in your church, the first thing your pastor will say, go and bring Bible. Open Samuel chapter 3 verse 4 and see how Jesus resolved a particular matter. It is the Bible you are going to use. And if there is any issue between a Muslim and a Muslim, they will bring out a Quran and Hadith. The Hadith is how Muhammad used his life. And the Quran is purely about the religion entirely. If both of you are truly Muslims, you will agree that you can use both books for your matter. But a political party, what do you use? you use your party constitution that has been written before your crisis. Because this constitution has been written before the emergence of this crisis. And now open it. If we want to solve this problem now, is it Obi who has set up a group that will call us to a meeting? The answer is no, because we regard this as being a biased person. Because definitely he's going to support somebody from his own side. Is he Abure that some people say, don't call yourself chairman again, who will now call liberty that we will honor? The answer is no. But is it me that they would like to honor? The answer is no. Let us consult the party constitution. What does the party constitution say? And it is direct there. Go to Article 40B of Labour Party Constitution. It's very clear that if the national chairman is unable to perform his function, the deputy chairman takes over in acting capacity. And it does not require a meeting, it does not require anything than for me to take over. And that is why I made my own pronouncement. It's a declaration and it's automatic. It is that authority is placed on me, which I must exercise and which I did the way I should do it. So immediately I do that, at the Arise TV, I give them a copy of the constitution. It's with me here. You can also go to it. That this particular clause that I'm quoting, let Abure quote his own there. That if he does not play his own, the office will remain vacant. It's not there. Then the Nanadi people, Usman, who have been boasting that they took the matter to court and they should be the beneficiary. The matter taken to court was taken in the name of Labour Party. I am a member of Labour Party. So if somebody locks the gates here now and you are working here, you can direct your people, open this gate and be staff here and just be there. I want to be practical. Now, when I now quoted this, I give them a copy. They say, Alhaji, we don't have question for you again. I say, invite them. As small as big as this constitution is, let them come and quote a particular portion that guarantees what they are doing. The number of SAN that they have, let them bring their own. This party constitution has been written before our crisis. And that's what I'm benefiting. Right now, the Lagos State local government election is coming up. We have taken LASEC to court.
Why the court again?
Yes, because the three of us submitted our documents to LASEC, our own team that want to participate in that election. Already, INEC headquarters Abuja are written to us that they are studying our documents. If you are studying our own document, for how long will it take you to study a document? Over 2 months, they are still studying the documents. Now, when this matter now came up, who will now represent the party? Because somebody must sign that document to LASEC. When we get to LASEC, they were just playing game. Then we now went to INEC Lagos State. Have you gotten an instruction from the headquarters of INEC to recommend somebody for this Lagos State election? They say no. Okay, we went to LASEC, they are playing games. They don't want to say yes, they don't want to say no. We now go to the INEC headquarters, Abuja. Have you recommended somebody or have you recognized somebody among the three of us? They say no. LASEC, now that you are playing game, we took them to court. Tell us where you derive your authority. The matter is in court. Maybe before the end of the week, we are expecting judgment. Once that judgment is out, we will present that judgment at the INEC headquarters. I don't want to preempt judgment. Only God knows what will be the judgment. But that is where we are.
You did that, you took them to court to set the record straight so that we won't be having litigation thereafter.
Yes,
is that the reason?
That's the reason.
Or there were other ulterior motives?
No ulterior motive. No ulterior. If it's ulterior motive, I won't be taking them to court. Because I want to know, let's finalize it, the issue of who leads the party at the national level.
Thank you. You mentioned Nanadi Usman, a former senator.
Yeah.
What was our place and position in the Labour Party when you were the deputy national chairman? Because some will ask, how come Nanadi Usman was the favored candidate and eventually became the acting national chairman of the party?
Well, I wouldn't like to answer, but let me just answer it because it's a question. She was nobody. Because by the time I was the deputy national chairman, she was not even in the party. She came along with Obi when Obi was coming to her, and Obi came less than 3 years now. Obi came during the issue of primary. That was the time she came along with Obi. I'm not trying to condemn her because they are critical stakeholders. But the point I'm making is that no matter how, let me give you an example. I always like to be practical. This is a door. You want to open this door. You know, hammer is bigger than key. I mean, is that not so? Then you now bring a hammer to open this door. You will break the door. But the small key can open it effortlessly. Yes, without issue. But when you use a hammer, you will damage it. No matter how big they are, the party constitution does not allow them to do what they are doing.
We are not bigger than you in terms of discipline, in terms of fighting for your rights.
Well, I don't want to claim that, but I'm a principled man.
You are a dogged fighter.
I don't want to know. But you know, because you are seeing me, if I'm dogged or whatever.
Well, so to the best of your knowledge, you are, to your mind, and by your own interpretation of the court judgment, especially that of the Supreme Court, you are the national chairman.
I'm the acting national chairman.
The acting national chairman of the Labour Party. You can say that to us. Say it to the camera. Confidently, if you are, tell us.
I am the acting national chairman of the party based on the judgment of the Supreme Court and based on the party constitution. From any court constitution, let me show it to the whole world.
This is your party constitution.
Yes. Article 14. And let me read out. Article 14. 2B. A deputy national chairman shall act in the absence of the national chairman and shall, in the absence of the national chairman, preside over the meetings of the party. That is where I derive my authority.
Expressly.
Thank you so much.
Unambiguously stated in the Labour Party constitution.
That's it. It's
so
clearly stated.
Have you been accepted, or you are the acting national chairman without followers, without principal officers? Are you acting alone, or you have the support of the principal officers of the party?
When you talk of, when we are talking of factions, you know what factions means. At the state level today, I have all my escorts there. Just like the way Nanadi say they have their own. But one must bow down for the other. Because one has the position of the protection of the constitution, and one is not protected. At a point, we will have one. We will have one at the end of the day. I am praying, like I told them, that my coming to become the chairman of the party is just to claim my right. It's not because if anybody who wants to share property, I'm talking of inheritance, want to share it to people. If you are interested in it, you will not share it well. I told them, you allow me to lead this party, I will allow this party to stabilize the party, so that the problem we have in Nigeria today will become a thing of the past. Because if we have all reliable people at the state level, then we are sure of winning at the national level. That's my belief. And it is doable. Other parties can also emulate us at the end of the day. If you look at my age, I'm getting to 76, I'm close to 76. If I should contest more and more, I will be over 80 at the end of the day. What does that mean? But if I'm able to stabilize this party because of what I have in mind, that if I'm given that authority, get the right people at the right place, then we won't have all this moving up and down that they are moving. It's because they destroy their parties. These are people who cannot settle 3 or 4 people's issues. You want to solve the Nigeria problem. There is no way you don't want to solve your people's problem within you. And you are moving up and down. Like I keep on telling them, party is about issues, conflict, and settlement. You have issue with your wife, you abandon her, marry another one. You have another one, you abandon it. At a point, people will say that man is not responsible. Today, as of today, no party is free. Look at the ABC that has been, whatever they are doing there. Look at what is happening.
The newfound bride.
Yeah, is it a bride? So already
fresh with the influx of political juggernauts.
That's already
Peterobi,
there's an issue there now.
What issue do you envisage, or do you see?
I don't want to say. Let's wait till we see the team boomeranging. So that's that.
Okay, and perhaps the last one now, the very last question.
Thank you.
Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Because whenever the issue of Labour Party pops up, your name pops up alongside, especially when it comes to the issue of fighting for one's right or litigation. You've mentioned a series of litigations now, but some would say, is it at all times that you must fight for your rights? Well, you've paid your dues as a unionist, you've made your mark as acting chairman of the party, you've spoken the truth to the best of your mind. Why not let go in the interest of the party, for peace to be in the party, for the future of the party? At your age, you just said it, you are old man. What do you stand to gain? Again, either they do it rightly or wrongly, why not completely hands off at this stage?
Well, in fact, let me pick it from your last statement. That what do I stand to gain? If you are expecting something to be done rightly, and it has not been done the way you want it, you will continue to pray for it to be done rightly. That's why I say if the right thing has been done, we prefer to become their mentor if they wish. Personally, I don't ask for it. Where I've worked in my life, they always look for me. I don't look for them. Find out from the NSC, they look for me. I don't look for them. No pain where I've served for many years, they look for me. I don't look for them. Because there will be a day they will need my attention. The same thing here. When you are saying what do I stand to gain? I stand to gain a lot. Because if you are in my position and you are being cheated, we don't like it. And another statement you made, that is it every time you claim your right? Is every time you claim your right, unless you are not opportune to claim it. With the job I've done in my life, I have never submitted or subscribed to anything that is not good. That's about me. That's the way I know my life, and I want to live by it. So the point is that the issue of litigation that we are talking about, if I don't want to use cutlass, I don't want to use gun, what will I? I will use court. Something must be used to claim my authority. Or do I need to come here and begin to slap you? Is that when you will know that I'm annoyed? You have to go to court. And if court decides otherwise, I will go back home. So it's not an issue, it's not do other affairs. But the truth is that the right thing must be done at the right time. This Nanadi, call Abure, let them speak to us. Let them speak to you the way I have spoken to you.
You mean the other group?
The other group, call them. I am ready for us to settle.
Are you ready for a debate like this? If we call Nanadi Usman, we call Julius Abure and the likes?
I have advised them. I've advised them. But what I will not take is for you to say, go and sit down. I will not take it. Because what you think you know, I know it better.
All right, let's assure you, perhaps we should use this medium too. We promise, and our audience should very, very much wait for this. Hopefully, we shall have engagement with Julius Abure and Nanadi Usman, Senator of the Federal Republic, a one-time senator of this nation. We shall have discussions with them on Honor 103.5 FM, and we should also hear their own views and their own perspective, especially their position on this lingering crisis within the Labour Party.
What they will be telling you, the Nanadi group, what I think they will tell you, don't let me speak on their behalf. They are saying our time has expired. I say yes. Every tenure has a period of expiration. But the point is that when it expires, who will conduct another one? Is it you, an outsider? But we regard you as an outsider by virtue of this constitution. It is only the ESCO of the party who have right to conduct the congresses up to the convention. It's not from somewhere else. And I gave them instances. During Jonathan era, you know, our election was shifted. Maybe is it a week or two. Some people were saying we must have interim. You remember? That short period, it means he has exceeded. It is not allowed. It is the same Jonathan who did it. In Nigerian constitution, it is allowed. If we have any issue or a problem that prevents us from conducting our election at that particular time, it is the same government after 6 months that will conduct election. So it is all over. But with this constitution, I can give you a copy. Go through it and see whether what I'm saying is not correct.
But for my consumption, not to become a Labour Party member, but it's good.
I won't give you, because since you don't want to become what
I cannot become a party member, not a partisan person. I'm a broadcaster, I'm a journalist. Let me just still do my rem.
There is no way. By the time you vote for a particular party, you are a politician. Only you are not partisan. But you must have reason for voting Mr. A or B.
Let me your constitution, let me digest it. It helps in our broadcasting. Thank you, sir.
Okay.
With pleasure.
So you can go through it.
Thank you.
And see what you can do about it. If you invite them, fine. So that's what I told them.
We shall invite them.
I told them. I told them that even if our period has expired, you started the mistake. We ought to have conducted our national convention by, I think, around June 2023. Because of their romance with Abure that time, they went to Asaba and extended period for 1 year. You see the error they made. So after the end of that period, they ought to have conducted another one by June 2024. You know what the man did? He had an agreement with them that that convention is going to be an all-inclusive. But he did it cleverly and excluded them. It became an exclusive national convention. That was the genesis of their problem. I told them that this man, we know this man better than you do. Now they started having problem with him. Because what we said about him, you did not accept it. But as it is now, I think the best thing for us to solve the problem. Because the Labour Party must play its own role as one of the political parties. Many people are looking up to us that we are going to be savior. And if we are not playing that role, why are we there? So I think I've told them this several times. But the point is that I won't, because of that, compromise in any way. Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.